Hello, White Readers. I'm here today to begin lesson 2 with you, and you can see on the screen that we're going to be starting to read a chapter book. It's called Miami Jackson Makes the Play. Now, I'm going to be up here today so that most of the presentation will be nice and big for you, especially if you're watching on a phone. Um, so let's jump right on into our lesson today. All right, so we're going to be reading a chapter book. You're going to need some supplies and materials, those of you, everything that you already have at home except the book. But no worries, the book will be right in this presentation. I've made some screenshots of it. So you do need your notebook and a pencil because you're going to be actually making some charts in here that you're going to be used for the entire chapter book. So we'll be coming up to that in a few short minutes. You need fast fingers because you need to copy some things down and also hit pause when I tell you to. And you need a sense of humor. This is a book that is funny, and it is in the humor genre. But there's another reason why you had to have a sense of humor, and that's in our learning goals for today. You're going to see that, and today we're going to learn about a literary device known as humor. Well, it's known as a literary device because authors purposely put it in their books to keep readers engaged, to want them to come back to read another book in the series. We're also going to be looking at vocabulary and how to figure out unknown vocabulary with context clues. And we're going to be making some inferences. Remember, that's taking something that we've read, putting it with what we already know or our background knowledge, and making a connection or an inference. All right. So let's jump right into who is Miami Jackson? Well, Miami Jackson is a character that Patricia McKissack, the author, developed, and he is in 3 stories. This is book 2 in the 3-book series, and his name is Miami Jackson, but his real name is Michael Andrew. When you see this AKA, that stands for otherwise or also known as Miami Jackson. His arch enemy is Destiny Tate, and his best friend is String. All right, let's take a preview of the cover of the book. We can see that it's probably going to be about what sport? Baseball. Yep, you can see that. And I see where they're located back here. Doesn't show everything. And again, here's that humor logo because that's the genre that it's in. Let's take a look at our next. All right, this is the back of the book and also the table of contents. This will give us some information about the story. All right. Again, it's a Stepping Stones chapter book. It's in the humor genre, and this tells us a little bit about what the story is going to be about. Let's read it together. At last, it's summer. Miami is more than ready for 2 weeks of baseball camp. No homework, no annoying sister. Best of all, no Destiny Tate. But Miami can't escape Destiny. Turns out his best friend String invited her to Camp Atwater too, and she's making trouble, as usual, trying to get girls on the boys' all-star team. Oh boy. So here's where we're going to pause the video for the first time. Just let me go over this the instructions for just a minute. You're going to take out your notebook and you're going to go to a fresh, clean piece of paper and you're going to put the date. You're going to put lesson 2, white level, and you're going to answer this question. Now, you should be able to answer this question because we've already previewed the front cover, the back cover, looked at the table of contents, but if you need to go back again and look again, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and pause it and come right back to talk about your answers. Okay, so what do you think the story is going to be about? That's right, baseball camp. String, his best friend, and Miami are off to baseball camp for 2 weeks, but they're going to run into Destiny, and they're not happy about it. Well, let's go ahead, and I know you're probably anxious to get into the book. I am too. Make sure you take a picture of that inference question and upload it to your portfolio. All right, so because we said that this is a book about humor and it is a literary device, what exactly does that mean? Well, there are 7 different types of humor, and we won't get into all of them today. We will be talking about the 7 different types later on as we go through the chapter book. But I want you to be looking for places that you smiled, places that made you laugh, because you're going to record them into a chart. Well, was what make you laugh make me laugh? Not necessarily. Depends on the sense of humor that we have. We don't necessarily all laugh at the same types of things. But we are going to start collecting that evidence in a chart called What is Humor? All right, so again, get ready to get your notebook out for the next slide. You're going to be pausing and copying this chart down in your notebook. You don't have to put anything in the chart yet, just get it ready. But with difference with this is right after you wrote that question a couple slides ago, I want you to go to a clean sheet of paper and I want you to write this chart. So it's going to say humor, what was funny? Page number, what was funny? Why? That why part, don't worry about yet because we haven't talked about the different types of humor. But you're going to copy this chart down and it's going to be blank for right now. And then you're going to skip 2 or 3 pages because we're going to use this chart for our whole chapter book. So skip those pages, pause right now and come right back and we'll be ready for the next piece. Okay, well, we're ready to jump into the next piece. We're going to talk about context clues as, also. I might need to move me over a little bit. All right. So context clues, what exactly are they? Well, we've started talking about them yesterday, and you guys did a really nice job on your iReady assessment. Okay, here's the first page of the book, Miami Jackson Makes the Play. You're going to see that I have underlined 2 words that I think could be challenging for students, brochure and lodges. Now, maybe you knew what those were, but for most second graders, they might find those a little bit challenging. So we're going to use context clues to figure out what they are. Remember, at this stage of the game, as a white reader, we should be focusing on learning new vocabulary. And we're going to do that using context clues. We're going to put them in our notebook, and it's going to look like this. But before we do that, I want to remind you that when you're looking at a word that you don't know, you read on, you try to find a synonym, you use your background knowledge. All of those are called context clues. So we're going to be working on those with this chapter book. So here's a place where you're going to pause again, and you're going to go ahead and you're going to write this chart in your notebook, and you're going to write what I've written in red because we're going to talk a little bit about brochure and lodge. So again, you're going to grab your notebook. You're going to go 2 or 3 pages after the first chart that you've made. You're going to copy this chart into your notebook. You're going to leave yourself 2 or 3 pages after it so that we can add to it as we read this chapter book together. So go ahead and pause this video and write that chart in your notebook with the red examples that I have given you. Okay, well, now that we're back, let's take a look at what we've written down. We've written down, I actually knew what brochure and lodge was from my background knowledge, and that's why where you see context clue, I was able to include that. I know that a brochure is a paper with information and pictures. Well, let me tell you one thing. Let me show you one thing about how I knew that. If you go back here to this sentence, it says, everything is laid out just the way the brochure shows it. So a brochure shows you. What's the best way to show you? Well, with pictures. And that's how I know that. So I'm going to go back to that paper, that chart rather, and it says that it is a paper with information on it. And that's what you should have written. And I knew that because I see these papers at restaurants and sometimes at tourist attractions when you're traveling because they want to encourage you to stop by. I also have the word lodge. Now, I know that lodge is a camp building because I have background knowledge that when I was younger, I was a Girl Scout and I went to camp and we had lodges at our camp. Now, here's the interesting thing. If you jump back to this page right here, it says Big Lake, cool lodges, 10 baseball diamonds, yay! But what could possibly spoil 2 whole weeks of nonstop baseball? Destiny Tate. Well, on this page, we don't get an example of what a lodge is. It doesn't, as we keep reading, we don't have any text. We have anything that says, for example. So if you don't know what a lodge is, you might guess that it's a baseball or something's found at camp because it says it's in the same sentence as lake and baseball diamonds. But at this point, you might not know what a lodge is, and that's okay because sometimes to figure something out with context clues, you might need to read several paragraphs later. And this book's going to use that word lodge several times, and it won't take you long to figure out what it is, that it's some sort of camp building. So you should have that all in your notebook now, and let's go to the next slide. So now it's your turn to read. This is the fun part. You're going to read pages 1 through 11, and I have them right here in this presentation. I'm going to zip through them so I can get to page 11, but what you're going to do is you're going to pause on each one, read that page, and then unpause when you're ready for the next page. Stop at the top of page 11 at the section titled Noon. All right, get ready. Enjoy. All right, here's where you should stop. All right, so here's an example of what I found funny. Did you find anything funny? Because that's going to be your assignment for today. We're going to add to our humor chart and we're going to add to our vocabulary chart. So you're going to get out your notebook where you made this chart and you made it blank. And here's 2 examples to get you started. Go ahead and pause the video and write them in. Now, here's 2 examples that maybe you didn't think were funny, but I thought it was pretty funny when Miami called Destiny Duchess of Muchmouth. I thought that was a pretty interesting name. That told me she probably likes to yak a lot. I also thought it was funny when String and Miami were talking about why he invited Destiny to baseball camp. And Miami said, "Well, do you invite everybody to baseball camp? Would you invite Dracula to baseball camp?" And String got sarcastic. That's a type of humor, and said, "Oh, does Dracula like baseball?" So I thought that one was funny too. But you're going to add to this chart for the humor that you found in page 1 through 11, and you're going to add to the vocabulary. So let's wrap this up because we don't want to take this too long. You can always go back and rewatch the video if anything was confusing. But here is your assignment for lesson 2. You're going to add to the charts that you made in your notebook today. You're going to use the information that you read from pages, that should be 1 to 11. And then we're going to focus on the different types of humor on Friday. So don't worry about having that chart filled out just yet. Just write down all the things that tickled your funny bone. And also you're going to add any new vocabulary. With that many pages, you should be able to come up with at least 5 words that you didn't know or you thought other second graders in our group might not know. We'll discuss the different types of vocabulary that you found on Friday, and we'll also find out what you thought was funny. So make sure you fill out your notebooks, take a picture of them, put it in your portfolio. See you soon. Bye-bye.